Yeah, the electoral college is a undemocratic system because it take away power from the people and give it away to a group of electors. Let's suppose that you are living in a state such as Wyoming that has a small population. Your vote for president is pretty much irrelevant in my opinion. It's not actually my opinion. Because if you think about it, the election is decided only between several states that we call swing states, and because other states, example Mississippi, Wyoming, places like that, are typically considered to be safe, so presidential candidates don't usually visit those states. Uh, I would like to tell you guys that I have been researching this topic for the past several weeks, and that I'm going to try to be unbiased in my speech today. The purpose of my speech is to persuade you guys the electoral college needs to be changed or reformed better better reflect the will of the people. My speech will consist of several topics: why the electoral college was established in the first place, but why we don't need it anymore, and why the electoral college is undemocratic. First of all, I would like to talk about why the electoral college was established in the first place. Uh, ac- acco- according to the according to the history to the website History Central, the electoral college was the first the first reason that the founders created the electoral college. Was it's difficult to understand today, but basically the founders were afraid of a tyrant or dictator manipulating the will of the people. This is according Alexander Hamilton. He said that he was afraid that a tyrant could manipulate the American people, I guess. And but I would say that I don't think that is true today, because today we live in an age of information, meaning that we have access to the information that any of our generation before or still, like, we have access to the internet and these things, a smartphone. So we basically we basically have we can basically get information from candidates using these smartphones in minutes. But I really understand why they did it, because you also need to understand that the United States is a massive country, so it would have been hard a syndic for a candidate, presidential candidate, to campaign in every state back in the 1700s. But uh, secondly, I would like to talk about why the Electoral College actually hurt smaller states more than helping them. According to one of my favorite YouTubers, Mr. Beat, he said the Electoral College actually hurt small states because candidates usually don't go to those states. Uh, here, here, here I have my a map. This is I'm sorry. I apologize about that. But I don't know if I don't know if you can see my map here. Um, and I get this map from a website called popularvote.com. I think that is the name of the website. But I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to bring it closer to the camera. But Florida and Pennsylvania were one of the most visited states in the 2020 election. You are not seeing Mississippi or Alabama. That means that candidates didn't really, really not focus on those states so much. So we basically got ignored in the 2020 election, and that is because we are considered to be safe states. But in a popular vote system, that won't be the case anymore, like he says in his video, because every voter is going to matter. Uh, for, Finally, I would like to talk about why the electoral college doesn't reflect the changes, the demographic changes in the states. Uh, According to Thomas H. Neal, the electoral college gives power. Gi- don't. I'm sorry. The census is only done 10 years in the beginning of the decade. So that means if in a state population changes during the decades, uh, those states could be overrepresented or they can be underrepresented on the electoral college. Uh, to to con- to conclude, the purpose of my speech has been why we need to change it or reform the electoral college to better reflect the will of the people. Uh, Secondly, we need to. I have talked today about why the electoral college was established in the first place, but why we don't need it anymore. Uh, why the electoral college actually hurt smaller states rather than to help them, and why the electoral college is undemocratic. Again, I would like to tell you guys that I have researched this topic for the past several weeks, and that I hope that I was trying. I will say that I was biased, but I try not to be biased when researching this topic. So finally, I think that we need to move. We need to evolve socially and politically to not be stuck in the past. I don't know if you know what I mean. Again, by Mr. Thomas O'Neill, uh, he said that a way to fix the electoral college without changing it would be a proportional representation, that a candidate get electoral votes according to the uh, percentage of the popular vote they got in that state.